Our focus this week is going to be on adding and subtracting fractions. Our content objective for this lesson is that the best mathematicians will be able to add and subtract fractions with uncommon denominators. There are 3 vocabulary words that we need to know before we can begin our lesson. The first one is multiple, which is a number that can be divided by another number without a remainder. For example, multiples of 2 are 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, and so on. Our second word is numerator, which is the number of shaded pieces. And then the denominator is the total number of pieces. If you take a look at this pizza example, you notice that the numerator, the top number here, is a 3. The denominator, the bottom number, is a 4. Looking at the visual, there are 3 out of 4 pieces left of the pizza. If you take a look at our first example here, we have 2/3 plus 4/5. Notice how my 2 denominators are 3 and 5. Now that I have identified my denominators, I need to list out the multiples of each one. Let's start with the 3. I know that 3 times 1 is 3. 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times 4 is 12. 3 times 5 is 15. 3 times 6 is 18. 3 times 7 is 21. Now we can look at our second denominator, which is a 5. I'm now ready to list out my multiples for 5. 5 times 1 is 5, 5 times 2 is 10, and 5 times 3 is 15. I see that I have a 15 at the top here and a 15 here with the 5. I now know that my common denominator is 15. Notice that I rewrote my fractions here with the denominator of 15. Now I am ready to create my visuals. I'm going to start with 2/3 first. I know my denominator is 3, so I know I need to split this first box into 3 pieces. Now that I have 3 pieces, I now know I need to shade in 2 because my numerator is 2. Now I have my 2/3 shaded. Notice now that I split our box into 15 total pieces. I did that because our denominator, our common denominator, is 15. Now, in order to find out my numerator, I need to count up the total pieces that are shaded in yellow. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. The equivalent fraction for 2/3 is equal to 10/15. Now I am ready to move on to the second fraction. I have 4/5, and I know I need to cut my rectangle into 5 pieces. Notice how I have this rectangle here cut into 5 pieces because our denominator was a 5. Now I need to figure out what that fraction is equivalent to if I cut that into 15 pieces. Notice now that my rectangle has 15 total pieces. In order to figure out our numerator, I need to count up the total number of pieces in yellow. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So my numerator is 12. I have now found the equivalent fraction for 4/5. I know that 4/5 is equal to 12/15. Now that I have my common denominator of 15, I can now go ahead and add my 2 numerators. I have 10 plus 12, which I know is 22. Notice that 22/15 is a fraction greater than 1. So I now need to simplify to get my final answer. My final answer is 1 7/15. I know this because I can fill in all of the pieces in this box here, which would be 15, and then I have to count up to 22. So I would have 7 left in this box here. So 2/3 plus 4/5 is equal to 1 7/15.